anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code podcast. I'm your host, Jack Wong. Today, let's have a change. And why do I say that? Because I have been talking about business development for a very, very long time. And you know what? In the last few episodes, you will also have experienced a lot of the business strategies, techniques, which I call them business or technical development. As a very successful entrepreneur, I would tell you one thing, that managing your personal development is also very important. So I would like to have a change of this topic today by inviting one of the experts who is very, very, very important to all of us, because he's going to share with us this very big word starting with H. And guess what it is? That is happiness. How many of you would like to have happiness in your life as much as you want, every moment as you want? So I would like to invite and have the privilege of Mr. Paul Levin. And he's the author, the speaker, and the blogger, and a mentor. And for several years now, he has been teaching and enlightening his students with these methods to improve their lives. So make them happier, to be healthy and pain-free, and communicate such that all the relationships are perfect. So thank you, Paul. Thank you for coming to our show. How are you today?
I am wonderful, Jack. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah, because when Paul sent me the profile, and I found that, oh my God, first of all, my reaction, my impression is that it's going to be a very different one. Because like I said in the intro, a lot of people are focusing on so much on the business development. And I just talked to Paul before we started the podcast interview. I said, well, I was unhappy sometimes too. Why would that be the case? It is because, well, we could have set back. The entrepreneurship journey is never ever been a smooth one. I mean, if somebody tells us that the journey is a smooth ride, I will tell you that this is not going to happen. I mean, the person might be lying. So in your experience, Paul, when you work with your students, like what would be the number one issues as to why they have to seek your help?
Well, Jack, I work with 2 categories of people. The first is the person who's like me.
Okay.
If you took out a kindergarten picture of any kindergarten class in the world, and you carefully looked at the faces of the children, you could say this child is happy and this child is not. Well, if you took out my kindergarten picture and looked at my face, it would be very clear this child is not happy. And that's my life, all the way up to 50-something, 52. And in working with a person who has been unhappy most of their life, they have to want to change. That's number one. They must want to change.
Yep.
Assuming they want to change, I can show them how to totally turn that around completely. And I like to say, I transform sadness into happiness.
Yep.
And happiness into inner peace. And that brings in the other category of people that I deal with. These are people who are not necessarily unhappy most of their life or in their life, but they don't have that inner peace. And I'll tell you what, when you add inner peace to whatever it is you're doing, whatever activity is you're doing, first, it becomes a whole lot more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And secondly, it works a whole lot better. You get much better results.
I see. From sadness to happiness, and from happiness to inner peace. I've been into personal development for a very long time because I studied the stuff by Robert Kiyosaki, and Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, is a very big, firm believer of personal development. So I know that if I want to have a happy life, to have a very successful career or entrepreneurship journey, I must manage my mood. If my mood level is not supportive, I will already lose 50% of the battle. So the question is that why is sadness something. I study stuff about learned optimism. And learned optimism, my coach asked me to do, and realized that I have a built-in mechanism of being a pessimistic person. So just to give you an idea what is a pessimistic person looks like, number one, there could be good things or the bad things coming to me. So when bad things come, I will just say, because of my pessimistic character, oh yeah, life sucks. And you know what? It doesn't work for me. I am very unhappy. That would be the so-called the bad mood. But this is not important. The more important one is when good thing comes, I didn't know what I know right now. So I've said one thing, hey, you know what? It is just a matter of luck. So in other words, I'm kind of like pushing all the good things away. And the saying is that the universe says, oh, Jack doesn't like all this good stuff. Well, I shall give it to somebody who need them. So until my coach told me, hey, can you work on this pessimism? I didn't know that, wow, I was actually like that. So is sadness or pessimism born with somebody, or is that because of the environment the person is unhappy? How would you explain this?
First, let me go back. You gave the example of yourself, but I have a story here. Let me give a very quick story of two little children just to exemplify what is a child who is destined to a life of sadness and the example of a child who is destined to a life of joy and happiness.
Okay.
So we have two little children. Let's say they're both 5 years old. And we place little Johnny into a room that is filled with toys and cookies and cake and just every kind of imaginable activity and computer game and whatever that you can imagine is in this room. And we place little Johnny into this room and we wait a few minutes, and then we notice that little Johnny is sitting in the corner crying. So we go into the room. It's like, Johnny, what's wrong? Why are you crying? He's like, if I touch something, it's going to break. So this is the pessimistic child. Now we take Tommy over here and we put him into a room that's filled with horse manure. And we wait a few minutes and we see that Tommy is flinging horse manure all around the room. And he's having a great old time and he's loving it and he's smiling and he's having fun. And so what the heck is going on? So we open up the door and we ask Tommy, what are you doing? What are you so happy about? He says, well, all this horse manure in here, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. Okay, so that is the happy child. Now, in order to understand where this begins and why it begins and how it takes root is actually something that, A, is not that important. Because it doesn't matter how it began. Right. It's just, what are we going to do right now? However, I am studying that, and I am looking at that, and I'm developing some theories about how it begins. But let's deal with how to change it now, because that's really all that matters. And when I work with either an audience, because I do this entire teaching in a presentation, I find that it's more effective if it's spread over time, so I also do it through a coaching program. And when I work with someone in the coaching program, it begins with core concepts. There's certain bits of knowledge and experience. So actually, let me back up and just talk about that. There's knowledge on one hand, experiences in life on the other hand. I could teach and talk till I'm blue in the face, and it won't amount to a hill of beans because knowledge is irrelevant. Knowledge does not change a person's life one tiny bit. What knowledge does is it opens up the possibility that whatever it is you just learned might exist. Now, you then experience it, and it becomes real for you. So when I teach a concept, and I give exercises to have the person experience the concept. And there's half a dozen core principles, core concepts that we have to cover and have you experience. Then we get to the point where the rubber meets the road. And what that is that everything in our life's experience, everything we experience in our lives comes from our beliefs. So if we believe that life is a struggle and that you have to, fight and scrape and scratch for every dime, well, then guess what? Your life will be a struggle. So then the question becomes, well, okay, if my experience of life, which is not something I'm enjoying at the moment, is coming out of my belief, how do I change that? And the answer to that is simple. The first step is we find the belief. And this is something that pretty much do one-on-one with people. I also do it in group sessions. This is why the coaching is so much more effective than presentation. Because either in a group or one-on-one, it's See, here's the thing. Which do you think is easier? To see someone else's limiting belief or to see your own limiting?
I would say is to actually, when I do presentation, I like to see what other people are doing. But like you said, knowledge is not that effective until I experience myself. So it's easier, but may not be effective.
It's good. So, like I said, we were saying that our experiences come out of our beliefs, and things that are not serving us, they're not working for us in our life, results in our life that are just not working for us. Well, these are disempowering beliefs. And it is so much easier to see someone else's disempowering belief than it is to see your own, which is why group coaching and private coaching is so much more effective. And so, let's say you're a client and we're talking, and I would say, so what has your week been like? What have you observed? What have you seen in your life this week? And you'll tell me a story. And as you're going on telling me the story, I'm looking for disempowering beliefs. And you don't even hear it when you say it. But as soon as you say it, I can pick it out instantly. Anybody, other people listening to you would be able to pick it out. Once we identify the disempowering belief, it takes all of about 60 seconds for me to change it.
That fast. Ooh.
And once we change the belief, the behavior changes instantly. So may I give an example? So I personally, like pleasure-wise, I enjoy driving my car very fast.
Yep.
I have a Volkswagen Beetle convertible. It's a gasoline engine, but believe it or not, it does pretty good at about 110. Okay,
It's good. 110 is good.
Yeah, right? Now, for whatever reason, I don't quite understand, but there's these people in these cars with lights on them, and they don't like me going 110.
Okay.
And after getting a couple of tickets, I looked and I said, so you know what? This speeding is beginning to no longer serve me. It's no longer effective for me in my life. And I began the process of searching. So in my coaching program, not only do I do all the stuff I was mentioning before, the coaching program, you have done it with me so many times that you're able to, the whole point of the coaching program is that you could do this for yourself now. So here's an example. I'm looking and I start digging and I'm saying, why do I speed? Why do I feel compelled to speed? And what was interesting is I'd already used it as an excuse with a cop once. And the excuse was, I told the cop, I said, where am I safer? Out here with nobody around me or in a cluster of cars with all surrounded by other cars? I mean, I told the cop, I said, all that has to happen is for someone to sneeze and there's an accident.
Yep.
And he bought it and he let me go.
Wow, that's fantastic. React that way, sorry. But it's very good one. Please continue. Sorry.
Well, then I asked myself the question, because here I'm speeding out of fear. I'm speeding because I don't feel safe with all these other cars around me. But when I understand the power that I have, and these are the things that we cover in the core concepts, you get to not only understand them, but you experience them. So when you understand this power, the question becomes, knowing who you really are, is there any time you're not safe? And the answer to that is no. Now, I realize for my listeners right now, you don't get that, and that's okay. I understand that. But when we go through the whole process of both understanding and experiencing your power and authority over your life experience, well, then you're going to look at that question and say, I am safe all the time because of who I am. Well, then I go back to the previous thing about not feeling not safe, and I say, is it true? And the answer is no, it's not true. Well, then what's the truth? The truth is you're always safe. And I said, okay, fine, new belief. I am always safe, regardless of the cars around me. The very next time I was in the car, I did not feel compelled to speed. And it's been months now. It's been months and months since I've done that. Now, okay, look, I still like it.
Yep.
Okay, but I don't feel any compulsion to do it. So I am perfectly content driving the speed limit in the right lane today. And that drove me insane a while ago because I changed the belief.
And one thing you said very nicely, and I would imagine somebody who are skeptical would say that, wow, Paul, it sounds so simple. It sounds quite fast. But the question is, really?
Really?
That fast? Then why am I stuck in the place that I have been for so long?
Exactly, because there's a belief that's keeping you there. So, give me an example of a place where someone might be stuck.
The challenge of my own audience group is people who start a business are very afraid of selling. It's like this thing that bothers me a lot, but I'm looking at my group of people, no matter what happened to them, it's like, okay, they acknowledge and accept the fact that as entrepreneur, sales is important because sales equals income. So they accept that belief. Very good. Number two, Now I'm asking them to go out and pitch to strangers. That is where the problem comes in.
Let's stop at those two.
Okay.
So, first of all, I will almost always bring this back to examples about myself because the only thing I can speak to is my own experience. And
yeah, of course.
I realize other people couldn't care less about my experience. They only care about their experience.
Okay.
But as an example, the only reference I have is really my experience. So I used to totally be opposed to selling. I mean, I thought salespeople were sleazy. I didn't want to become one of those slime people at my door, knocking on my door, disturbing my day, and trying to push some box of, I don't know what, soap or something on me, or a fuller brush.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way on earth I was going to ever do anything like that. Now, two things changed that belief. You know T. Harv Eker, yes?
Yep.
So I've done basically the Quantum Leap program. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through all the various workshops that make up the Quantum Leap package. This particular event, I'm not attending, I'm working the event. I'm working in the back of the room, helping. And we get to a part of the program where the speaker is going to be offering something for sale, and those of us in the back of the room need to be prepared for everybody to come rush back there and fill out order forms and give us their credit cards.
Yes.
And I went to the team leader and I said, listen, I have a real problem with selling. I don't want to be back there. I don't want to take people's money. I don't want to be the one that they're going to look at and say, should I pay for this or not? And I said, all right, listen, if you really don't want to do it, don't do it. So I skipped the first offer, but I felt like I shouldn't have skipped. And so the second one, I said, no, put me back there. I want to do it. And somebody comes back, and the first thing they ask me is it any good? Now, it happened to have been a workshop I'd already taken. And it happened to be a workshop that it changed my life. So I said, yes, it's very good. It changed my life. I was able to share with them what that workshop had done for me. And they handed me their credit card and said, well, sign me up. And knowing how good the workshop is and knowing that I really didn't sell anything, they just handed me their credit card. I filled out the form for them and I did my part of processing their card. We don't actually process their card there, but we get all the information and that.
Yeah.
And they walked away. I was elated. I sold something. Big ticket item. Oh my God, how did I do that? I didn't sell it. All I did was share with them my experience. And T. Harv Eker talks about that with regards to selling. Don't go out there and sell anything. First off, if you're in a business and you are marketing a product, do you believe in it? Maybe not everybody. Do you believe that there are people who absolutely need your product? Because if you don't, find another product. Get another business.
Yes, exactly.
But if you do, don't sell anybody on it. Just share your experience. That's it. Because all they care about is their own experience. What will their experience be if they buy it? And the only reference they will have to judge that by is your.
It's a very powerful yet profound way of saying selling is not selling. Like from my experience, I always says, well, one, selling is not really selling. Like the belief about the salesmen are pushy, sleazy. Well, it does happen. However, I don't see them nowadays because I live in a different environment. Like Paul, I personally was involved in those situations at the back of the table, getting the forms to the hands of prospective customers, we call them, and explain to them why this course is good for them when they ask. So at the end, I'm not the one because I'm not the event organizer. So I'm only assisting getting the cards to the event organizer and let them swipe the card. But before the card is being swiped, I would do my part to make sure the person is convinced that, okay, I believe that it will happen on me. And you know what? My life will never be the same as long as I hand my card. And that is going to be something that I will enjoy for the rest of my life because I will learn something new. And I'm not going to look back. It's like a lot of things that I'm starting to let them realize. Give them the confidence that, okay, this is a good decision they have made. Whether they do something after the course, of course, we can't control. But at that point, we can only do the best we can to assist them to make that decision. That is my belief of selling. So I'm with you because I was in that position before. I'm not afraid of selling anymore because of that kind of experiences.
There you go.
And I felt very good about that.
So what we did in that process that you and I just went through in the last couple of minutes on the phone here, on the radio, is we changed our perspective of the activity of selling and the behavior. We also changed the behavior, right? We're not pushing anything on anybody. We're just sharing. So by changing our perspective, our behavior has changed. And guess what? So have the results.
Belief change leads to result. That's the key.
Yeah.
And I love that part. While people said selling is not easy, well, selling is actually easy once you have the belief change. It's that fast. And you will be in a very different territory or have a different level of operations from that point onwards. So I that's the reason why no matter how I say what I say, how many times I've told my group, well, selling is not that hard. It's until they have the experience, it will still be the same for them. I'm so kind, I don't like the money, I don't like to scam people. And also the fact is that I just don't like to sell people because I don't like to be sold also. Wow, this is the classic one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 things. First, it comes back to, do you believe in what you're offering? Because if you believe in what you're offering, you're not scamming anybody, you're not being sleazy, you are merely offering somebody the tremendous benefits of what you are offering them. And you believe in it. Because if you don't, find something else to do. But if you do, if you really believe in what you are offering, well then you're not pushing anything on them. You're giving them an amazing opportunity. And there's going back to T. Harv Eker, one of the programs is called Train the Trainer, which teaches people how to be a trainer, how to be a speaker, okay, from the T. Harv Eker way. And one of the things that they teach as part of the program is called the offer. Part of the program.
Yes.
Right? So they're going to teach you how to do an offer. I can't say enough. I mean, this thing, you could be totally inept and you just follow the script and you'll close about 30% of the room with whatever you're offering. So long as there's value there, as long as there's enough value there. All right? So the thing is, if you're so in the teaching of this program, having learned how they do the offer, for me, what it did is it changed everything about when they do an offer to me. So this part about I don't like being sold. I used to hate being sold. I used to run out of the room when they start the offer. But now that I understand the technique and the steps, for me it's as trivial as somebody saying, would you like another cookie? And you say, no, thank you. So if I don't want what they're offering from the stage, at this point, no reaction comes up for me. There's no emotional response. I just say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And it's that easy.
I agree, yes.
Your prospects may say that to you, and that's cool, and that's fine. They weren't the one who need what you want. Move on.
Yep.
Next.
Is saying no very easy? Yeah. Is receiving a no easy? That requires some work. Like you put it very nicely. If I haven't gone through all this personal development training, I also do not like to receive the no. But once I have gone through this education, saying no to me is nothing. Okay, you are not interested. Okay, we're still friends. We hope that we can work together next time. No big deal.
The best attitude when somebody says no is, cool, no problem. Can I send you free information every now and then? Would that be okay with you? Who's going to say no to that, right? So long as it's not 6 emails a day. Okay.
That's right.
So who's going to say no to that? So you keep them plugged in. You keep them informed of what you're doing. You'd be surprised who comes back 2 years later and says, I've been watching you for 2 years and now I want what you have.
To put this into the perspective of we have been talking about so much on the belief change, the strategies that we can use. At the same time, is that fast? Is that easy? Actually, think about it. Is I know that you are actually having some books that are being written. Yes. You gave me Your Life Sucks, the ultimate guide to manifesting your perfect life. Yes. So can you just talk a bit about these books and where our audiences can look for them?
So this book, it's my expectation, it will be in print, available for people's hands by the end of March. And it will be on Amazon, and it will also be on my website. May I give my website at this point?
Sure, go ahead, please.
Paul Levin, so Paulev as in Victor, IN,
yes.
Trainer, TRAINER, PaulLevinTrainer.com. And for everybody in the audience, if you go to that site today, there's 2 free reports in the upper right corner And please just, click on the button, fill out the form, get the free reports. They'll change your life. They will change your life. Also at the bottom of that page, Paul Levin Trainer, is a link to go off to my Facebook page where I have a video blog. So I just tonight posted episode 41, which is called Win, Win, Win. And I'm not going to tell the story here. You got to go listen to it.
Of course.
But it's the story of something that happened to me over the last 3 days that is just amazing. Just totally amazing. So, and it became a win, 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 win is what it became.
It's 4 wins. Win, win,
Four
win,
wins.
win. Okay, good.
Yes. 4-way win, and it's just awesome. So, so let's see. We were at the website. We talked about the book will be there once the book is available in print.
Yep.
In fact, we're actually talking. So one of the parts of that win is that I now have a marketing person who is like awesome at marketing, working with me.
That's very good.
Something I definitely needed. And we're talking about doing some kind of a campaign where people could like get a sneak peek at the first chapter of the book just like in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So you get on the mailing list by go and pick up a free report or just go to the website, fill out the form. So I've got you on the mailing list. I can send you, when we do that campaign, I can send you that part of the book, which will be probably the first 2 chapters is what we're talking about right now. So I can get you those gifts as well if you sign up and get on the mailing list. I will not spam people because that would be sleazy.
Okay. Okay. Well, spamming with good contents actually is good. I learned that like when I am affiliate to somebody's product, there was a lesson that I've learned during my affiliated marketing experience. So if I just share with you, take 2 minutes of that. I had this limiting belief that, just like what you have said, Paul, if I were to spam my list on this product day in, day out, would they love it? Would they really look at my email? And worst thing can happen is unsubscribe it. Okay, that is all the limiting beliefs.
You're right.
I've done a few affiliated marketing campaign, and I was just following my mentor's guidance. It's okay if you know that every single email sending to them is providing them with an opportunity. They may be too busy to read one, so you need to remind them again and again and again.
Okay.
So I see
very good. I like it. Thank you.
I see all this subsequent follow-up as reminder because people get busy with their life and they may not open your email. It's not your fault. So your job is to continue serving them, making sure that they know that this opportunity is coming. They must take action or else because of the limited time, it will be gone. So I said, okay, since then I have never had the problem of blasting my whole email swipe copies to my list. That is something I learned in my affiliate marketing experience and changed my life. That's
awesome.
Also. Yeah. So that's me,
awesome. That's a new perspective. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you see, it's just like one belief change. You said very nicely. Oh my God, I realized that can be done. And I've done it and I have the success. Oh, okay. What a game. So next time I won't be afraid of doing this anymore. In fact, I'm now sharing with you my experience. Like whose experience can I share? My own. And was it a successful one? I believe so. And that's why I'm happy to share this with you so that you see, oh yeah, this is interesting stuff. So next time you can do
and right here on the call, you changed my life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's why to us, it's like we are in the business of transforming other people's life. I love and involving people who actually are expert in their field and they have stories to share. So thank you, Paul, really, for sharing with us the approach of making a big, helping a person to change their life by turning from sadness to happiness and from happiness into inner peace with just a very simple process. So I would love to have you again in future to talk about further insight and experience of yours and benefiting our people in this podcast show.
Thank you.
Okay, let's call it a night for everybody. Okay. And for the listeners here, Jack Wong here, and hope that you enjoyed this episode. And of course, I'll bring on another guest to share with you his insight, his wisdom, his intelligence to help you become a more successful entrepreneur. Jack Wong here, and have a good night, everyone. Bye for now.
To continue cracking the entrepreneur code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneur.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.